Sabbath peace.
Sabbath peace.
It's another opportunity for us to hear and learn of the word of truth that's given to us by the Most High God. All honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahweh. All honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We know that it is obtained by grace through faith, not of works, lest anyone should boast, and given freely as a gift to all who obey him. We understand that if you do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that you do not believe. In this state, you should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, anything that you do get, whether it be a gift of tongues, a gift of prophecy, or any supernatural experience that you may have, it can and it will be used against you in the day of judgment. With that said, peace to the saints that are in the room, to the saints that couldn't make it, but no peace to the wicked. The only thing we say to them is repent, that they might live. Who in there playing in the darn toilet? Who is that? Go check on that for me. Let's see who is playing in the darn toilet. Who is that playing in the toilet? That was you?
Michael.
Michael. Okay, that boy. He got bathroom problems.
Well, at least he going.
Woo. Let's go ahead and do where we leave off last week.
Mark 9.
This is Mark
Verse what?
chapter 9. We left off verse 1. Verse 1. So we finished off 8, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was good.
This is Mark chapter 9, verse 1. Let's just get right back to it.
And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here which shall not taste death till they have seen the kingdom of God come with power.
All right? So he looked at these people, looked them in their eye, and he said, listen, some of y'all ain't going to taste death until the kingdom of God come. All right, so he looked at that like, oh, yeah. You remember, he messing with folks, right? We talked about it last week. Last week we were talking about it, we was like, man, this dude just telling them all the time. The week before that, he talking about, yeah, drink my blood and all that other stuff. So we see that he's like dealing. Last week he was talking about, what was he talking about last week? We were reading the 8th chapter. What was we talking about in the 8th chapter?
You fed the
Oh, yeah.
All right, remember?
11 of the Pharisees.
Right? He just fed them, thought they were talking about bread. He was like, beware the leaven of the flesh. So they thinking about bread, because bread is what leavens, right? So he was like, okay, beware the leaven of the Pharisees and the Herodians, right? And they like, man, what is this man talking about bread? It's like, man, you know what I'm saying? What you want us to go get more bread? He looking like, you don't realize that we just fed 4,000 people and we didn't have no bread. You think I'm concerned about bread right now? Right? So now he come back and he's like, listen, it's going to be some of y'all standing here. Y'all ain't going to take death before y'all see the kingdom. Go tell them boys, run down there and tell them boys to turn that. Nah, you ain't got to run nowhere. Hey! Turn the TV down. And y'all be quiet down there, right? Turn it all the way down, too. You know what I'm saying? So he told him, he's like, you know what I'm saying? No, y'all ain't concerned about no bread. So now he's telling them, listen, the kingdom of God gonna come. Some of y'all ain't even gonna take that. Right? Now, what is already the expectation of our people, right? As it relates to the Messiah.
He gonna take the kingdom and get rid of Rome.
Yeah.
Right? That's the prophecy, is that the kingdom of God comes. And by way of that, the Most High God is going to get Rome and everybody else up out of here. That's what our prophecy is saying. It's saying it's going to be a big old battle and God's kingdom is going to rule. So we look at that and we listening to him and he's saying, oh yeah, some of y'all standing right here and y'all ain't going to taste no death. We looking like, oh, this thing about to happen. Right? Because it's been like this argument this whole time where the Pharisees is like, this don't look like the guy that's going to make this thing happen right now. You know what I'm saying? He ain't talking about scrapping. He ain't talking about doing nothing. The man just seemed pretty peaceful. You know what I'm saying? He healing people and that's miraculous and everything. But I don't know if he's the one. Right? And then you got other people that just like, listen, I ain't never seen nobody do that. I ain't never seen nobody touch him. His eyesight came back. They just ain't never seen nothing like that. They just like, well, whatever you say, I'm going with it. Right? So you got these two opposing sides. So we talked to the one that said, listen, I'm going to go with whatever you say. He tell him, oh, kingdom of God about to come. That gives them the impression of, oh, this is about to happen. Watch what happens next.
And after 6 days, Yahshua takes with him Peter and James and John and led them up into a high mountain apart by themselves, and he was transfigured before them.
Right? So the man changed before them. He was transfigured. So something changed about him before them, right in front of them. Right? Let's see what that looked like.
And his clothes became shiny.
His clothes became what?
Shiny.
Okay.
Exceedingly white as snow.
Uh-huh.
So as no fuller on earth can white them. And there appeared unto them Elijah with Moses.
Hold on. So his clothes became shiny, and then what else happened?
And there appeared unto him Elijah.
No, before that.
Oh, wait. As exceedingly white as snow. So as
Exceedingly white as snow. The man was like a bright white light. What does that remind us of?
The ladder. Descended. Didn't he see that same thing? Or am I tripping?
I don't think so, at least. I'm thinking of Moses.
Yeah.
Remember when Moses came down with the law?
And his face was shining.
His face shone. Right? The writer of Corinthians, you know what I'm saying? He said, you know what I'm saying, Moses had to put a veil over his face just to let people know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to see the shine fade away. Right? But his face shine. Right? So that's just like Moses. Grab Exodus 34 real quick. We'll take a look at it real quick. Exodus chapter 34, verse 28.
And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand, he came down from the mountain, that Moses was not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with it.
Uh-huh.
And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone.
Right?
And
So
they
where
were
did he come
afraid.
from?
The mountain.
And who was he up there with?
He was with God.
And the Most High God said he talked to Moses how?
Face to face.
Think it's different. These people don't know what they dealing with. These people don't know what they dealing with.
He said, Moses, we talk face to face, as if a man talks with his friend.
People don't know what they dealing with. That's what separate Moses from the rest of these prophets. Guess what separate Yahushua from the rest of them?
He bringing in the covenant. He taking people from death to life.
The prophecies say, you know what I'm saying, I spoke to my companion. I was talking about Yahushua. He spoke to Moses like a friend, face to face. Whole book testified to me. Right? So you look at him when he came there, it's like, listen, you're going to see the kingdom of God. 6 days later, man, take him up to a mountain, just start changing. Start shining. You know what I'm saying? White as snow, it said, his clothes. Right? Just a bright light. You know what I'm saying? That's what he turned into, just a bright light. And they're looking at it like, what in the world? But if we read our book, we would have knew, oh, that tied back to Moses. That's how Moses was after he got done talking to the Most High God. That means he's trying to tell us something. Maybe this is the Most High God. Right? Let's see. Let's go back to, matter of fact, let's grab Mark 9. Let's do Mark 9. It's Mark chapter 9, verse 1. Oh, but we just at Mark 9, right? Go to Matthew 17, verse 1. In Matthew chapter 17, verse 1. It's going to kind of tell us the same thing, but just from Matthew's point of view.
And after 6 days, Yahushua take Peter, James, and John, his brother, and brings them up into a high mountain apart. And was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with him.
So now you got Moses and you got Elijah talking to him after that. Right? So at first, you had his face shining like Moses. Right? Then all of a sudden, Moses pop up. Then you got somebody else with him, Elijah. Right? Let's hear what happened after that.
And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with them. Then answered Peter and said unto Yahushua, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you will, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah.
Right? So Peter saw that here like, oh, whoa. Okay, listen. It's good. Don't nobody do nothing, right? Because Peter excited. He's like, all right, look. Don't nobody go nowhere. Let's keep this. Like, let's keep this going. I tell you what. I'm gonna build a little tent for you, a little tent for you, and a little tent for you. We all just gonna have tents, and we can all relax. Don't nobody go nowhere. He trying to keep it all going. Watch this.
While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And
Watch the bright cloud. Watch this.
The voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. And Yahushua came and touched them and said, Arise and be not afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man except Yahushua only.
Now watch. Go back to Mark.
So TJ, by this time, is Moses alive or dead?
You say that last thing.
But at this time that we're reading right now, is Moses alive or dead? In Yahushua's day, when Yahushua was walking around, was Moses alive or dead?
Dead?
How so?
Dead because I think he was Aaron, right? I think he worshipped the...
No, man. I'm saying, was
kidding.
Moses alive in Yahushua's time? You said he
Let
was
him answer
not.
the question.
Okay, go ahead.
And he worshipped the fake God. And then Moses... Didn't God tell Moses to go up to the mountain? And he said, I don't need you anymore.
He didn't say it like that, but... Yes, he told him to go up to the mountain and die, and then Joshua was going to take over, right? That was a long time ago. So this is 2,000 years later, right? And Yahushua was shining, and his disciples saw him talking to Moses. That's why that's such a big deal, right? Because Moses is dead. We know Moses is dead. Well, how did you feel if you just saw a man that you knew was dead, was just up and just talking to God, talking to the Most High God like that? Would it freak you out, or would you be excited?
Freak me out.
Okay, Peter was a little excited.
This is Mark chapter 9. We're gonna start back at verse 1. So we saw how it was described by Matthew, right? Cloud came, you know what I'm saying, man, with shining face like the sun, you know what I'm saying? Then Moses and Elijah popped up, you know what I'm saying? And the boys fell out when they heard the voice of the Most High come down. He was like, "This is my beloved Son, whom I'm well pleased." Boys fell out. Yahushua came and touched them. They woke up, right? Then after that, they only saw Yahushua. Right? This is how Mark described it. Watch this.
So that same cloud in the wilderness, what was the cloud for back in Moses' day?
God before the day?
That's right, God before the day. So that same cloud, you see how God works in similitudes, right? Just like Moses talked to God in the mountain and his face was shining, Yahushua's face was shining and Moses appeared, right? That's an indicator for us to know that this is the guy that Moses was talking about. And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that should stand here, which shall not taste of death, till they have seen the kingdom of God come with power.
He said come with power too. You know what I'm talking about? Watch this.
And after 6 days, Yahushua take with him Peter and James and John, and led them up to a high mountain, apart by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. And his raiment became shining, exceedingly white as snow, so as no fuller on earth can white them. And there appeared unto them Elijah with Moses, and they were talking with Yahushua. And Peter answered and said to Yahushua, Master, it is good for us to be here. Let us make 3 tabernacles, one for you, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah. For he wist not what to say, for they were sore afraid. And there was a cloud that overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud saying, This is my beloved Son, hear him. And suddenly when they had looked round about, they saw no man except Yahushua only with themselves. And as they came down from the mountain, he charged them that they should tell no man what they had seen, until the Son of Man is risen from the dead.
All right. Now, grab Luke chapter 9. Zakai, come here real quick. Come here real quick.
Luke 9.
Yeah, it's Luke chapter 9. Go in the office. I'll be in there in a little bit.
Verse 1.
Mm-hmm. This is Luke chapter 9.
Then he called his 12 disciples together and gave them power and authority over all devils to cure diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent them to preach the kingdom of God and to heal the sick. And he said unto them, take nothing for your journey, neither stave nor scrip.
That's 9?
Yeah, Luke 9.
You sure ain't 10?
Yeah, this is 9.
All right, keep going. I don't think that's what I want, though.
What are you looking for?
Same story.
It's the end of 9. 28.
28? All right.
We'll start at 27.
Okay. This is Luke chapter 9, verse 27.
But I tell you of a truth, there be some standing here which shall not taste death till they see the kingdom of God.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass about 8 days after these sayings, he took Peter and John and James and went up into a mountain to pray.
Mm-hmm.
And as he prayed, the fashion of his countenance was altered,
Mm-hmm.
and his raiment was white and glistering.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, there talked with him 2 men, which were Moses and Elijah,
Mm-hmm.
who appeared in glory and spake of his decease, which he should accomplish at Jerusalem.
Right? So they spoke about how the man had to die. It's Moses and Elijah. They talking to the man like, oh yeah, you know you got to die, right? They all just having a conversation with the Most High God's son, right? Telling him like, yeah, you know how that thing got to play. Nah, the way it got to play out is like this. Yeah, and almost like God told me too. Yeah, we don't know how the conversation went, but that's how I like to imagine it. Right? They talking about the man with his decease. How the man got to die. Keep going. Watch this.
But Peter and they that were with him were heavy with sleep. And when they awoke, they saw his glory and the 2 men that stood with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, as they departed from him, Peter said unto Yahushua, Master, it is good for us to be here. Let us make 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing what he said.
Yep.
While he thus spake, there came a cloud and overshadowed them, and they feared as they entered into the cloud. And there came a voice out of the cloud, saying, This is my beloved Son, hear him. And when the voice was past, Yahushua was found alone. And they kept it close, and told no man in those days any of the things which they had seen.
Right? So they didn't tell nobody about that one. Right? They had a cloud. In every situation that we read, or everybody who gives an account of this, there was a cloud that overshadowed them, that covered everything up. Right? The man told them that before they die, they gonna see the kingdom of God. Right? We look at that and we like, okay, what does that really mean? They saw the kingdom of God when the man transfigured. That's what he showed them. In their mind, they might have been thinking like, oh man, before we die, this thing ain't gonna happen. So if you look, you have to think about this. If you look at the writers that wrote Revelations, right? That wrote a lot of these epistle letters, you will see they talking like, man, listen, the end is near. That thing about to come right now. It's imminent is the type of language that they use. Right? The reason why they using that type of language is because if they just got told by the Son of God that before they taste death, right? Some of y'all, before y'all even taste death, this thing gonna happen. They start seeing some of their friends dying, some of the people around them dying. They looking like, oh, I know this thing gotta happen before I die. Right? And at some point you gotta realize, oh, the man showed me the kingdom. He showed me. He's the kingdom. Watch this. Grab Exodus chapter 40. Y'all remember at the very beginning when we started the gospel, Yahushua said to the Pharisees, destroy this temple. Right? We said we're going to come back to that because at the very end, when they charged him for death, that's what they used. They used, he said he's going to destroy the temple. But really, he said, destroy this temple and it'll be rebuilt in 3 days. Right? So watch this. This is Exodus chapter 40. Give me verse 31. This is when Moses was building the tabernacle.
And Moses and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet thereat. When they went into the tent of the congregation, and when they came near to the altar, they washed as the Lord commanded Moses. And he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the hanging of the court gate. So Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle.
He said the glory of the Lord did what?
Filled the tabernacle.
It filled the tabernacle, and then what?
And Moses was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation because the cloud abode thereon.
Right? What is that, a cloud? He couldn't get in there because a cloud was in there? That sounds familiar. We looked at Yahushua. Yahushua changed. His book said his countenance changed. One writer said his face was like the sun, but his clothes was like white as snow. A fuller couldn't, somebody who do clothes can't even do nothing with that. Then after that, they saw Moses and they saw Elijah. Then a cloud was there. Then the Most High God spoke. Look at this. Watch this.
And the tabernacle, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle, and when the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the children of Israel went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they journeyed not till the day it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and the fire was on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys.
The Most High God was using the cloud to signify that Yahushua was the one. This is the tabernacle. This is the temple. This is the kingdom of God. This is who you follow. Right? Just like you followed the cloud in the wilderness. Right? This is where he at. Then he gave his voice to put a further stamp on it. This is my son, in whom I am well pleased. What we have to think about is, why did he see fit to only show 3 people that vision?
They would be the pillars to carry on the gospel.
They gotta be the ones. Most High God could have showed that to everybody. He could have had somebody capture that on the darn iPhone, put it on YouTube afterwards. But that's not what he's after. We have to understand that this is, we're not dealing with a marketing guy. We're not dealing with like a God that's trying to like get as many online impressions as possible. That's not what he's trying to do. He's precise. He's trying to get exactly who he needs to get and send them to the kingdom, and get exactly who he needs to get to send them to hell. And that takes a precise strategy. Right? That's why these people confused, because they look like, well, I mean, if God was real, why wouldn't he just make a lightning bolt strike right now, just to let everyone know? Yeah, okay. Because he don't want to let everybody know. He want to let everybody know he didn't do it that way. So now what you got to ask yourself is, how you make sure you know? These people don't think like that. They'd rather just rebel, not knowing what's going on. They'd be like, well, he's not, if he were real in my mind, he would do it this way, and since he's not, then I don't acknowledge it. That's foolish talk. That's like your kid just running out, if you were a real mom, you would make me breakfast at this moment. But since you're not my real mom. You're not my real dad. I'll whoop your darn butt. Then we'll talk about it afterwards. We're talking about what's real. Let's see if whooping ain't real either. Hell, I'm whooping your butt right now, but not really. You know what I'm talking about? It's foolish talk. But that's how people think. It's like you have zero authority, zero knowledge, zero wisdom, and you running your darn mouth about what a real God should do? Like you have zero experience. Your girlfriend just darn lied to you. You know what I'm talking about? And you fell for it. And you talking to God about what a real God should do. You having a hard time passing your darn exam at work. Most of God looking at you like, what is you, like, it just doesn't make sense, like the hubris that people have. They feel like they're in a position where they can guide God or they can counsel God. Rubbing the wrong bottom with that one. Right? So we see these things happen. We see the cloud, right? But watch this. That was the tabernacle. Right? That was our first like place where we identified. Remember, God lived in our tabernacle according to our book. Where did he live?
Between the mercy seat. Well, between the cherubim.
In between the cherubim on the mercy seat. And the mercy seat went where?
In the holy place.
That's right. It was on the Ark of the Covenant, and it was inside the holiest of holies. That was in the back room of our tabernacle. Now watch this, right? That's where it says that the Most High God was. That's where you can find it. You can meet him there. One of our kings, which one? Which one of our kings went in there and prayed to him there? It's Hezekiah, right? I want to say it's Hezekiah. I don't think we read it yet, where we at, but I want to say it's Hezekiah.
Syria was talking all that trash.
I think so, yeah. I think he ran. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, he ran and he, bowed down right between the cherubim. He was like, man, the Most High God that's between the cherubim. He started praying to him, right? And that's lawful for us because the book said that's where he is. I'm trying to tell you, if you're gonna be superstitious about something, you gotta be superstitious about what's in the book, right? You gotta be superstitious what's in the book. You do that, man, you in a good place. Most High God looking like, oh yeah, he believe what I'm telling him. Problem is, Christians, they get so smart. You know what I'm talking about? Well, see, God, that was just an eschatological statement that you can see. And, see, God wasn't actually between the cherubim. You see, God is everywhere, right? So since God is everywhere, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't say no. They wouldn't use no simple language like God was everywhere. God is omnipresent.
You try to see like.
You know what I'm saying? I've been looking at these people like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You running that darn mouth though, but you have no idea what you darn talking. You just running it. Most like God gonna make a darn fool out of you. That's why he said, because it's like you listen to that and be like, well, you know what? God is omnipresent, so he is everywhere. So you know what? He ain't just in between the mercy seat. Go with that bad logic if you want to.
But he just told you he's in between.
You know what I'm saying? Man just told you where he was. You go with that bad logic, right? So to us, we look stupid like, oh, you savages. You think you took that actually literally, right? And they think they wise. And what the book say? What are you gonna do to the wise?
Confound the wise.
All I'm saying is we gotta position ourselves for what the book say. That's it. These people gonna think they outsmarting God, and you just can't do it. Be dumb. If you're gonna be dumb for God. I guarantee you're gonna be smarter than all these people. Easy money too. That thing ain't even difficult. Easy money. You're gonna be smarter than all these people. These people, oh well, God was real. It'll play out like this, such and such and such. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm just gonna stand over here. You know what I'm saying? You do what you do right there. I'm just gonna stand over there. We just gonna rock out with the Israelites was the Israelites. That's our people. We just gonna rock out with we ran the world at one time. We just gonna rock out with we disobeyed God. So the Most High God used these other nations to take us down. We just gonna, I mean, these just facts that I'm talking about, right? And then we just gonna rock out with, I don't know how, but the Greeks came along. And for some reason adopted a 7-day week eventually. I don't know where that would have came from. Don't know where that would have came from. Right? Then the Romans adopted the same thing. Matter of fact, they changed it to an 8-day week, but always kept track of the 7-day week, and they said, you know what? This ain't working out, let's go back to the 7. Right? Then I don't know. America came along and still got the darn 7-day week. Right? So I don't know who to believe. I don't know who to go with. I'm just gonna be wise enough to stick with what the book say. Right? We gonna see where it goes. We gonna see where everybody land, but I'm just gonna be wise enough to stick, because y'all can give me a whole bunch of science. You know what they gonna tell us with science, right? They gonna tell us the whole world came from what?
Big Bang Theory, something like that.
Big Bang Theory.
I mean, you somehow. No, I mean, look.
There's a couple of them.
There's a couple of them out there.
Look, hold on, TJ.
And this is what gets my goal. The Earth is such and such billion years old.
No. This is how it works.
That one really gets to me.
TJ, there's nothing. Nothing exists. There's nothing. Close your eyes. Imagine nothing. Right? All of a sudden, there's a bright light that comes out of nowhere. Where'd that light come from? From the mouth of babes. But that's science, though. Science, that's not God. God didn't say that, right? He said that, but he said it differently. Science, this is what science gonna tell you, right? There was nothing.
And an explosion.
Then all of a sudden, something happened. Whoa. You just told me there was nothing, though. That's the part I never got. It's like, hold on. No, sure, for sure. Big Bang and all that stuff. I'm feeling it. I like the idea. It makes sense to me. But what happened before the Big Bang? Right. At some point, they're going to have to tell you there was nothing. Yep. So how do you get something from nothing? So then, if you get a really smart scientist, they're going to tell you, well, the Big Bang came from this, and this came from that, and actually the universe is infinite. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. All right, now how do you have, like, explain infinity? That's just a concept that we don't understand. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. You keep where you going, and then let me go to my book where the book say, my God is eternal. From everlasting to everlasting. Right? All I'm saying, don't call me crazy. They gonna call us crazy, they gonna call us stupid. Right? Because we believe in the book. They gonna go somewhere else. They gonna look at a whole bunch of stuff. They gonna take darn 80 years to do it. And you know what they gonna come to the conclusion of? Actually, what the Bible was saying was right. They might not admit it. But if you sit here and you tell me everything came from the Big Bang, and I ask you, where did the Big Bang come from? They're gonna be like, well, this Big Bang had to come from billions and billions and billions of years before that Big Bang. There was another Big Bang. And then billions in another universe, right?
They use the billions of years to come up with, we can't explain what happened, so it must have happened a long time.
Yeah, that's they explain. I mean, because you got to get a light.
There's like a reset button on being wrong.
A beam of light got to have enough time to turn into a human being, right? Somehow, that light, if I let it shine, like if that light bulb could last 3 billion years, perhaps it'll turn into like a tadpole or something. That's their logic that's what they want us to believe. But then the part that bothers me is that we go along with this stuff. And if I tell you, no, actually God created the earth in 7 days, y'all look at me like I'm crazy. Y'all got people making books and money off of telling you that if you give this light enough time, it's going to turn into a darn algae. Right? You let these people tell you that. But if I tell you God created in 7 days, and look, that's why we have a 7-day week across multiple cultures, across multiple countries and nations and time. I'm the one who sounds like I'm nuts. You gotta be stupid for God. Because these people, he gonna make a fool out of these people. The Christians too. He gonna make a fool out of they smart butts. Oh, in the Mosaic dispensation of the you get talking to me like that. Yeah. Now you got it. You good. You just, you know what I mean? You just stand over there. I'm gonna do over here. Don't even worry about it. You can talk like, I know you don't know what you're talking about. I know you don't know what you're talking. You know how I know? Because the word dispensation and Mosaic is nowhere in the book. There's no Hebrew word that you can properly translate to dispensation and Mosaic. So for you to do that, that means you got your information from somewhere else. Somebody making a fool out of you. Let me tell you where I'm going to get my information from. Right from the book. King James Version too. And I'm going to stand on it. And like, well, you know the King James Version got mistake too. Yeah, I agree. They got a few of them. But King James Version, the only one that's honest about their mistakes. King James Version tell you how they translated every single word, categorize it for you and everything. Rest of the other version, they just gonna be like, and Jesus said he was like God, not was God. Like, oh, okay. All right. You know what I'm saying? King James gets something wrong, like when the word pathal. You know what I'm saying? Pathal in Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? That thing mean like to entice. You know what I'm saying? So we look at Genesis, and yeah, it translates pathal as enlarge, and it's like enlarge. It don't make no darn sense in this sentence. What do you mean? Shem is going to enlarge his tents, right? Like, what does that mean? What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But we look at it, it's like, oh, entice is what it's supposed to mean. But the only way you can figure that out easily is you go back and you look at it, and King James will tell you this how we translate it in this situation, right? Using the Strongs, right? This is how you translate it in this situation, and this is how we translate it in every other time this word was used in the book. Now, man, a guy can look at that and be like, oh, that's transparency. That's what I like. Transparent. Just tell me how you did it. Yeah, you might get something wrong. Probably had a bunch of Gentiles involved into it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They say, some people say King James was black. I don't know. I ain't really found nothing I, you know what I'm saying, completely trust about seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Some people say, you know what I'm saying, he is from the tribe of Issachar and he was black. You know what I'm saying? But he understood he was from the tribe of Issachar. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. Show me a little picture, you know what I'm saying, like a drawing. Supposed to be an old drawing. That thing said Issachar at the top. I was like, yeah, I just can't find it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it, but I can't like find it somewhere in some document that's legitimate. You know what I'm saying? Which don't mean you're nothing. You know what I'm saying? You might have people that be like, nah, can't have that. You know what I'm saying? Ball this one up, hide it in the Vatican or, you know what I'm saying, wherever these people hide their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? You know what I'm saying? It could be. Whatever the point is, they say a whole bunch of people working on translating this book. You ever heard that William Shakespeare was black?
No.
Okay, I ain't never heard that one either. You know what I'm saying? I know William Shakespeare, he worked on the book. He worked on translating the book. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of, so you got a whole bunch of Gentiles. Listen, I don't put it past none of these Gentiles to make a mistake. Makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody gonna make a mistake here or there. You know what I'm saying? You know, TJ, you gotta find out for me if William Shakespeare was a black man. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Nowadays, they be uncovering all types of people being black. You don't know if it's true or not.
They made so many black people white. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Who knows? You know what I'm saying? You can't put it past. You can't put it past these people.
They made all the Egyptians white. They made all the Hebrews white.
And you gotta look back at history and be skeptical. Like, oh,
Yeah.
black man. Yeah, man. Well, black man.
Egyptians is like the blackest of the blackest people.
They made Frederick Douglass look, you know what I'm saying, white.
They made Frederick Douglass look white. They made Beyonce look white on one of them statues they made.
Yeah, these people, you know, these people ain't got no darn shame. But the point of the matter is, you look at it, and you got to be able to look at what the book say and take that thing just like what it say. I don't care how stupid. I don't care how you look at. Well, clearly God didn't mean that. Just be stupid. Take it literally. You'll be better off taking it literally. Unless you see something else in the book that clearly shows something else about that situation that you can't take it literally. When they're talking about dragons and 7 heads in the Bible, there is you don't benefit a thing looking at that being like, I can't take that literally. You don't benefit from it. Maybe it ain't literal. But you don't benefit at this point by saying that's not literal. Like, don't stand on that. Don't teach and be like, no, that's not literal. Why? For what? I teach you, I'll be like, hey, it might be actual dragon. It could also be this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to stand for what? Like, why would I put that out there? For what? Do I have any proof? Is it gonna get me further somewhere? No. There's no reason to. Just take the book for what it's saying. You got some theories around it, put some theories, that's fine. But never forget what it actually say. You get to doing all that extra stuff, that stuff come from evil. That come from you wanting some glory. All I want is God to get the glory. That's it. I don't care. That's all it's all going. You ain't gonna talk to nobody. I'm always gonna point you back to the book. I ain't trying to tell you, listen, I can't, God gave me this last night in my dream. You ain't gonna talk to that stuff. Matter of fact, I'm so darn jaded. Listen, I'm so darn jaded from all these false prophets. If God gave me a prophet, I probably wouldn't tell it. God would probably be looking at me like, boy, I told you to say it. But nah, I ain't want to get EP. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna have the darn satisfaction to call me a false prophet.
You're gonna be like Jonah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go to him in the book. I'm gonna be like, what you tell me, God? Let me see if I can find that in the book somewhere. Yeah, I like it better when Isaiah said it. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, like, y'all remember what Isaiah said? That's probably why the man ain't gonna get me no prophecy. Be like, man, you ain't gonna do nothing but try to make Isaiah say it. You know what I'm saying? I told you to say something. Right? You got time for this stuff? These people, man, look, you gotta know the book, man. Even if Isaiah said it, you gotta know the book. You understand? Like that, like it always gotta come back down to the book. You somebody saying something that they don't line up the book, and you don't know the book well enough to know if it line up, man, you rolling dice. You better hope they darn right. You can follow, listen, you can just follow along with somebody say, that's fine. If they right, you got it. But if they wrong, you in that ditch with them. That thing's dangerous. So you gotta know the book so you can be like, okay, that lined up, or nah, that don't. And study every darn move. Let's see, grab Kings. 1 First Kings. First Kings chapter 8. Right? Because we had our tabernacle built by Moses. Then after that, Solomon did what for it?
He built it.
He built the temple for it, right? Solomon came into power. His pop, you know what I'm saying, kind of got a few resources together for him. Solomon's like, no, we about to make this, you know what I'm saying, we're going to take this to the next level, Pop, don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? So he hooked up with the man, what was that, Hiram? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got a few things together. Solomon built up a nice temple. Then after that, he built up a nice little palace, and I think he built something else, right? Like I think he built like a library or something like that. It wasn't a library though. What was it? And he built something else.
He built cracking houses for himself.
I know he built a house for himself. I want to say one more thing that he built that was big. But you know what I'm saying? For sure, he built a house for himself, and he built a temple.
Like this big garden or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. Something like Hoppy or something. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 1. Let's see what the book says.
And Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes and the chiefs of the fathers of the children of Israel unto King Solomon in Jerusalem. And they might bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is in Zion. And all the men of Israel assembled themselves unto King Solomon at the feast in the month Ethanim, which is the 7th month. And all the elders in Israel came, and the priests took up the ark, and they brought up the ark of the Lord, and the tabernacle of the congregation, and all the holy vessels that were in the tabernacle. Even those did the priests and the Levites bring up. And King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel that were assembled unto him were with him before the ark, sacrificing sheep and oxen that could not be told nor numbered for multitude. And the priests brought in the ark of the covenant of the Lord unto his place, into the oracle of the house, to the most holy place, even under the wings of the cherubims.
Watch this.
For the cherubim spread forth their two wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubims covered the ark and the staves thereof above.
And where was God?
In between those things.
Right, in between the cherubims. So they start describing the wings. Watch this. Keep watching.
And they drew out the staves, that the ends of the staves were seen on the holy place before the oracle, and they were not seen without. And there they are until this day. There was nothing in the ark except the 2 tables of stone which Moses put there at Horeb when the Lord made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass when the priests were come out of the holy place that the cloud filled the house of the Lord. So that the
Cloud did what now?
Filled the house of the Lord. So that the priest could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord had filled the house of the Lord. Then spake Solomon, the Lord said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. I have surely built thee a house to dwell in, a settled place for thee to abide in forever.
Right, so Solomon knew what that meant. Right? Solomon knew. He read the law already. He knew what happened with Moses. So when that cloud went up, Solomon immediately was like, oh, book say, Most High God said he's going to stay in a dark place, thick darkness. There it is. I built it. He trying to show the people like this is a sign. Most High God is accepting what we did. In that same way, we saw when Yahushua popped up, went to the mountain, and he was transfigured in front of the people, right? The people looked at him, they're like, oh, now you shine, or in front of the disciples, rather, the 3 disciples. They looked at him, they saw that he was shining, and then the cloud came. Most High God was like, yo, this is my son in whom I am well pleased. This was Yahushua showing people that he was the temple, right? Everybody couldn't know that. Why couldn't everyone know that? Why couldn't that moment be exposed to more people? Why did he tell the disciples, do not tell, keep this thing close, do not tell anybody?
They probably would have had like the Pharisees and everybody else believe on him. Then they probably would have never killed him. He probably wouldn't have never died the death that he was supposed to die.
If you take that first statement, he said, destroy this temple and I'll raise it back in 3 days. And you put this understanding that, oh, he is the temple, right? If they were able to connect that dot and say, wait, the cloud, just like the cloud here. Oh, he's saying he's the temple. Then now at the very end, when he was charged and convicted, you would have had people that would have been able to make the argument, be like, no, he was saying he was the temple. He wasn't saying destroy the temple, right? Which means they couldn't have convicted the man on that charge, which means he would have threw everything off. So that's why he said, look, I'm showing this to you because you're going to have to tell people about this later. You have to tell Mark so he can write it down. You have to tell Matthew so he can write it down. You have to tell Luke so he can write it down. Right? So I'm going to let you know, but don't y'all tell anybody else. Right? This is how the Most High God work. Keep going at actually let's grab John 7.
Not yet. Go play.
Go home. Go tell whoever playing in the room, tell them to stop.
You want
John chapter 7, verse 1. This is John chapter 7, verse 1.
After these things, Yahshua walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry because the Jews sought to kill him.
Alila said, what about currents? What's that?
What about who?
Currents? Currents maybe? Currans. You ever heard of that? You have to tell me what that is if you're still watching. I have no idea what currents is or currents, whatever it is. So this is John chapter 7, verse 1.
After these things, Yahshua walked in Galilee, for he could not walk in Jewry because the Jews sought to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Jews' feast of tabernacles was at hand.
Right, so it's the Feast of the Tabernacles. It's crazy that like these Christians, I mean if you ask a Christian, this is where Christianity come from. It comes directly from the Gospels. Jesus is God. That's what they stand on, right? So it's crazy that this man is celebrating the Feast of Tabernacles, and you can't find that in the Christian tradition. You can't throw a rock without hating Christmas. But the Feast of Tabernacles can't be found in not one of their traditions.
Yeah, like the Feast of Tabernacles is like everything they set their hopes on, and they have no idea what it is.
Oh, the book of the Quran. You talking about the Quran like the Muslims? They ain't the same boat as the Christians.
Yep.
They ain't the same boat as the Christians. You know what I'm saying? They celebrate a different day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a whole lot of history. You learn how the Muslims enslaved our people. They're the ones that sold us to the Europeans.
They ain't gonna tell you that.
Nah, they ain't gonna tell you nothing about that. They ain't gonna tell you about the Ottoman Empire.
I don't think it's the Muslims, but either them or somebody else has like 5 different gods.
A whole lot of people right here.
Yeah, Muslim too. You know what I'm
I was
saying?
reading and it said there's something about a sun god, a great vine god.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of different people groups. Almost every group of people that defines themselves in a specific way, they attach themselves to some type of god. So there's a lot of different people that worship the sun. You know what I'm saying? The Bible talk about that too.
But you come from.
You look at absolutely. You look at the Muslims. They had what was called the Ottoman Empire. That's what came after Rome. You know what I'm saying? And the Ottoman Empire supported Islam, which was created by Mohammed. You know what I'm saying? And so he came out. Ottoman Empire came to rise, and that's when they started to enslave our people. So they started to get the Hebrews, wipe us out of Africa, and then they sold us to the people that was in the Ottoman Empire, which is now like Turkey. You know what I'm saying? So they would sell us over there, and so you had this big slave trade that went from Turkey to northern Africa. Then after that, you know what I'm saying, you had what was called the Crusades. Right? Because the Muslims were fighting against the Christians, right? And those Crusades went on and on. And some of these Muslims were black, right? So these Muslims that were black end up taking over parts of the Christian nations in Europe. So right now, when we're talking about, you see some of these people, you know what I'm saying, they digging up and they find some of these people with black. Some of the reason is because some of these rulers were African rulers that were Muslims. And they took over.
You remember the Crusades? You read about that in school, right? How the knights would go and fight. You did the Crusades. I remember you talking about the Crusades.
Yeah, all that stuff is history. But they don't give you the real context behind all that stuff.
Christians was killing all of
Christians was out there getting them.
Killing women and children and doing all that messed up stuff.
Right. And the Muslims doing the same thing to them.
The same thing too.
But part of what funded the Muslims campaign, a lot of it was sex trafficking on the Muslim part. They would take a lot of our women would take it. It wasn't so much men. It wasn't like America was like men. They wanted the men for the most part. They'd take the women for the house stuff. They wanted both really. But for America, it was like the men. It was a lot more so the women. And they would use the women for sexual purposes. You know what I'm saying? So they did that stuff. They do all this evil stuff to our people. But a lot of that funded their wars with the Christians. And then eventually, when tables started to turn, they said, you know what? Listen. Why are we fighting each other? You found a new world. We gave you the map to find that new world. How about this? You know what I mean? I'll show you where the Hebrews are. They ain't us. We don't mess with them. They don't mess with us. Right? They never converted. I got a couple of them in jail right here. But I can tell you all of them are. They all hiding out in West Africa. Right? They make a deal. And then now you have the transatlantic slave trade.
So a black Muslim is more of a sellout than a Christian to me anyway. You know what I'm saying?
They all the same. You know what I'm talking about? They all the same. They all the same.
The black Muslim mad at the white man for slavery, but you go to the people that sold you to the white man and tack on to their tradition. That's crazy.
I don't make no sense.
So like, you mad at the white man, but you're not mad at the African for doing it. Like, that's crazy.
Right? We don't have the context, right? All our history, all our information is given to us by this country. Right? The people, so we don't have any power. Right? We don't
did it first, gave you to the white man, but you mad at the white man and not the African.
Right? We don't have the power to be able to properly educate our people. Right? So if I stand up right now and I say this, you know what they're gonna tell me?
You divisive.
You anti-Semitic, you divisive, you this, you that, right? They're going to shoot down. They're going to use the power that they have to shoot down anything that I'm saying before anybody can actually get it and put a context to the things that actually happen in the world. Because if too much of that context come out, then yeah, we will look at it and be like, oh no, we don't rock with these Africans either. Oh, you know what? We not just African. Like, what is it? What does it mean to be African? That don't mean nothing, right? Like, that's a whole context. That's just like saying I'm human. Okay, great. That's fine. That's true. It's fine. But it's like that doesn't define anything for you. Right? When I'm trying to narrow down my lineage and where I come from and my culture and my traits, then that ties me back to being Hebrew. Right? By way of being a descendant of American slavery. Right? By way of being on a slave ship that came from West Africa. By way of being on slave carts that came from East Africa. By way of Romans chasing us out of Rome. Out of Israel. By way of the Most High God prophesying that we would have all these things happen to us if we don't obey. By way of us not obeying. By way of the Most High God choosing our people out of all the world to say, I'm going to show the world who I am through y'all. When you have that context, you can say, oh, we made a mistake there, we made a mistake there, we made a mistake there. You have that context, you can go to, they always bring up Chicago. Well, 17 people were just murdered in Chicago over the weekend. You guys don't think Black Lives Matter at that point, right? They always bring up that stupid stuff, right? But if you look at that, you can go to Chicago. Chicago is really a problem for y'all, right? You can go to Chicago with some information, with some true information. Let me teach the people who they are. Let me tell the people the truth. Stop undermining people trying to tell the people the truth. Then we can get somewhere.
All this stuff is stopped.
Yeah.
If it's really a price, stuff ain't no problem for these people. They want black people killing each other. Stuff ain't no problem. I care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about nothing about these lives. The only thing black in this country, the only thing that a black descendant of American slavery is good for is undergirding the wealth of America.
Yep.
That's it. So if it's too many of y'all, problem. So yes, I'm gonna put an abortion clinic in your neighborhood. Of course. And yes, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna tell you, they can't control you. This is your right. I ain't gonna tell you to have responsible, to be responsible with your body. That don't make no sense. I'm gonna tell you after the fact, go ahead and kill a baby. That's where I'm gonna put my effort. I ain't gonna teach you morality. These people, okay, I ain't gonna talk about this stuff, but I'm gonna have to talk about it. These people have zero morals. They got Will Smith, right? And Jada Pinkett, right? It's quite the rave right now, right? Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. So, you know what I'm saying? They just, you know what I'm saying, it came out that Jada, you know what I'm saying, Jada was doing her thing, you know what I'm saying? And the rumor has always been, I guess for a long time, really, that they had like an open marriage, that they do all that wild stuff, right? So that's the speculation when the rumors start coming out that she is messing with this singer dude. You know what I'm saying? It was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know, they into all that wild stuff. So they came and the singer dude started crying on national television, or I don't know if it was national television, but it went viral. He's crying and like, oh, I loved her, and this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, da, da, da. So it looked like she played him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? What you thought? You know what I'm saying?
My family here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you relax? You know what I'm saying? Doctor, you know I'm married. Like, why don't you relax?
Yeah.
Right? So it looked like, you know what I'm saying? It looked like his feelings got hurt over the whole situation, right? Then she got a TV show. So her and Will are on the TV show and they talking back and forth. And they sitting there, you know what I'm saying, just chatting it up, laughing about the whole situation, taking it like, well, you know. So throughout the conversation, she's like, yeah, there was a time that Will and I were separated, and honestly, and Will jump in, I didn't know that I was ever gonna take you back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought we were done at that time. She's like, yeah, and I didn't know either. And so I was lost. I was in a dark place, and you know, August, that's the guy's name. August, he really helped me at that time. And the joke is right now that she is like, yeah, we got entangled, or we had an entanglement, or whatever. And Will was like, entanglement? You know what I'm saying? Like go ahead and tell the people what you actually did. She's like, I did. Entanglement. Yeah, so that's a joke right now, right? So it's like, okay, they entangled, and they did what they did. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it was. At the very end of it, she says, but unconditional love is really what's important. And Will, you have always loved me. And Will say, yeah, you didn't think I could love you like this, huh? She is like, no, I didn't. He's like, how am I doing? She's like, you're doing a good job. Then they high five at the end and go off. So immediately when I'm looking at the thing, I'm like, y'all just witnessed two professional actors. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like two professional actors who happen to be married, right? So I'm like, that's great. But let's just say even if they weren't acting and that was honest, what message is that sending? Did that send a message of morality? No, that sends a message. Like these people right now, you know the word they use now is toxic, right? So you got a toxic relationship. How would you describe a toxic relationship? Maybe like somebody like keep cheating on you or keep doing something to you, and what you do, you take them back? Yeah. So at that point, it's toxic. Right? When when you see that, it's toxic. Then you look at the exact same scenario, played out on TV with two people smiling and laughing and kikiing and high-fiving across the table. Same thing. That's unconditional. What you're describing is unconditional love. Somebody keep messing you over and you just take them back, and y'all always fighting and going against each other, and you just keep taking them back. That's toxic. We call that toxic. When they do it all of a sudden, it's like, oh, relationship goals. I mean, that's just beautiful. But this is what people don't understand is like, well, this is why you're in that toxic situation. Because in your brain, you've been so numb in your brain. Like your brain is so messed up from all the BS that these people shove down your throat. From the time that you were from the time you're in elementary, they start teaching you stuff that does not go together in your brain. So throughout your life, you have to get used to this feeling. Like really, it's supposed to be a feeling that you get when stuff don't make sense. When two things don't go together, when you talk one thing and this thing contradicts something else that you were taught, it's supposed to feel weird in your body. You're supposed to be like, whoa, like wait, that doesn't make sense. And as a kid, you have that, right? Kids do that. It's like, wait, why but dad? My son had me on dad. But why if this, that, and the other, why do this? Right? But some of us tell our kids, shut up. Some of us don't want to talk to our kid. Some kids, well, you know, that's just how it is. You'll understand when you get older. And when that happens enough, and you go to school and they teaching you more stuff, and they sound smarter than you when they teaching you this stuff, then you start going along with it, and then you start living with this thought of, maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe I just don't understand it. And then you stop challenging. After a while, it don't even bother you no more. This stuff don't make sense. So now you looking at toxic relationship, and you saying, ooh, that's bad. Then you looking at unconditional love, which is really a toxic relationship, and you looking at, oh, that's good. They're the same exact things, just presented to you a different way. So you get into this unconditional love situation that becomes a toxic relationship, and you say, I don't know how I got into this toxic relationship, and the only way to get myself out of it is to stop loving this person. And then you say, you know what? I need somebody that unconditionally loves me. And so guess what you do? You get into another toxic relationship, and you do these things over and over and over and over again. And it's because nobody is sitting down and telling people, this is wrong. This is wrong. Like, if what they described is right, there should have been already, you do this, this, and this, I'm done with your butt. Period. That's it. That got it. I can forgive, I can reconsider, let it later. But let me just put it on the table. If these things happen, I can't handle it. I know they're going. I don't want to reach out and hit you. I don't want to call you out your name. I don't ever want to do that. I don't want to. So if you do these things, I'm leaving to keep myself from ever doing nothing crazy. But that's how relationships get to be. I refuse to leave. So you know what? I'm going to stay and put myself through all this torture, all this, and I'm going to bring myself out of my character. What you think is happening in their household right now? Outside of that fake video that they put up. They probably do got an open relationship and doing all the wild and doing all this stuff. But guess what? Now behind the scenes, you know what, Jada, you stupid. I told you not to mess with that young boy. I told him don't bring him into the stuff that we do. I told you he wasn't going to be able to handle it. You think he's sitting there laughing behind the scene with his wife? He got to be in the media and got to answer this stuff. He got to look stupid on camera. Got to sit here in front of everybody and talk about how his wife slept around on him. Even if he knew about it and gave permission to it. You think that looked good for the movie star? He said, now I know you can see it in his eyes. The man sitting there just like, man, this is so stupid. Yep. He's sitting there like, man, the dirt I do, don't nobody know about it. She said in the interview, she was like, well, I mean, he made a joke. He was like, yeah, you know, I got to get you back. You know what I'm saying? I got to get you back. Right? And he had joking. She is like, well, I would say that you already got me back. We don't know about it. We don't know nothing about when Will got hurt. You know he's sitting there like, man, oh yeah, when you do it, the whole world know about it. I told you, boy, 19 young, I don't know how old he is. This young boy, you 50 darn years old. Why y'all saying you messing with this young boy? You know he can't handle this. You get a little slice of Jada Pink, you know what I'm saying? You get a little slice of Jada, you know what I'm saying? You think little boy went darn wild, lost his darn mind. He out there, he on the podcast.
You imagine he was,
you know what I'm saying? I loved her. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine?
Okay, who was cracking when he was like, cause he
Jada Pinkett, who was 50?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Like Janet Jackson or something.
Could you imagine?
It was like, oh my God.
Lose your darn mind.
That's hilarious. It's not funny, but that's messed up.
Back when we get a little taste of something a little bit older and we get the, you know what I'm saying, just regular women. You know what I'm saying? Lose our darn mind.
That's crazy.
You get Jada Pinkett Smith. She's showing you the ropes, literally. You know what I'm saying? You looking like, oh, I got that little butt fall in love. And she tell you, well, no. I'm saying, that's still my husband. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like the setup we got. He bring in the big bucks. I need somebody that's on my level that think like I think and this, that, and the other. No, this was, you know what I'm saying, it's that and other. Now you freak out. Now Will got to deal with this stuff. It's immoral. You don't know what's going on in their household behind this stuff. There's probably all types of toxic stuff going on. And one day it's going to be revealed. Because them kids came up in a toxic environment. And guess what? They going to tell it all one day. They going to tell it all one day when they get older. Right? Because the kids already a little wild. You know what I'm saying? They going to expose all this stuff one day when they get older, right?
Especially like somebody give them a whole bunch of money to do it.
Oh, yeah. You know they going to pay them too. Especially after this. This thing ain't going nowhere. This ain't going to stay around. Right?
I think what's the name of
Well, it sound like I ain't missing nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't got social media, so I don't be knowing what's going on.
You ain't missing the darn. You ain't missing the darn thing. These people still darn crazy.
You ain't
Wow.
These people still darn crazy, man. You look at this stuff, man, it's just, you don't have nobody to tell the people. You don't have nobody to tell the people and set them straight. These people just do what they want. They ain't governed by things. Just do what they want to do. And they wonder, how did I get here? What'd you say?
We use toxic for a different
You said what?
We use toxic for a different meaning.
What you mean?
Like when we play video games and someone gets mad, we talk and talk.
Same meaning. Same meaning. Different context, but same meaning. That's all. You understand when you get older.
I was done with Will Smith after he was like, why can't 2 + 2 be what I want it to be? I forgot what interview where he was saying some weird stuff. I was like, yeah, that means
it's just not logical, right? And that's how these people want to operate. They want to operate in a world where things aren't logical because
no accountability.
no accountability. Smart people can get over that way. If you smart and ain't nobody else logical, really, well, I'm sure Will Smith in a lot of ways is logical. He probably confused himself because you got to pretend to be something else. Then eventually you kind of get confused and try drinking your own Kool-Aid, right? But somewhere, Will Smith, I'm sure, is very logical. But he probably wins in a world where other people aren't, right? You drop me in a world where people ain't logical and you take away my morale, you know what I'm saying, that came from the Most High God. Oh, I know I can manipulate, do all types of stuff, make stuff move wherever I want to do it. If you ain't got no lie, I can tell you what I want to tell you. And after I get done and get caught for telling you what I want to tell you, well, you have to understand, we're all just human beings. I was in the moment at the time, that was my truth. And what you gonna say? Oh, well, I don't have the right to say anything against your truth. You have to have the space to be in your truth. If I was Donald Trump, I'd be using that stuff. I'd be like, Donald Trump lied again. I was like, well, that was my truth at the time. What these people gonna say, these hypocrites? What they gonna say? You gotta back off then, like, dang it. What we gonna say now? Let's see what we got. Where we at? We was John chapter 7, verse what?
3.
It's verse 3.
His brothers therefore said unto him, depart from here and go to Judah, that your disciples also may see the works that you do.
Right? So he is looking at him, his brothers was looking at him like this Yahushua brother. He is looking at him like, yeah, go on down. They're talking about, yeah, go down there, do what you do. You did all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Go on down there and do what you do so everybody can see your disciples. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what they want him to do. Like, man, these Pharisees, that's what you make. Go out there and show these Pharisees so your disciple can see that you did it. Go head to head with them. They got the control. You just go head to head with them. That way your disciple can see. Yahushua could have did that. But that changes things if he do. Watch what Yahushua said.
For there is no man that does anything in secret, and he himself seeks to be known openly.
Mm-hmm.
If you do these things, show yourself to the world.
Mm-hmm.
For neither did his brothers believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
Then Yahushua said unto them, my time is not yet come, but your time is always ready.
Mm-hmm. So he turned around and was like, what are you talking about? I'm working on it with a very, very specific timeline. But you know what I'm saying? You can always do what you want to do. Go for it. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you go down there? Why don't you go head to head with them boys? Huh? All right, let's see.
The world cannot hate you, but me it hates, because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil.
Mm-hmm.
Go up unto this feast. I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come.
Mm-hmm.
When he had said these words unto them, he abode still in Galilee. But when his brethren were gone up, then went he up also unto the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret.
All right, so after the brothers went, he kind of, you know what I'm saying, stayed back a little bit, and then he went by himself. He had to go, right? Because that's our law. Our law says we got to show up 3 times a year. So he had to go. Wasn't no way around that. But he just had to go, you know what I'm saying, y'all go ahead. And, you know, he sneaked down there because he don't want to be out there open. Let's see.
Then the Jews sought him at the feast and said, where is he? And there was much murmuring among the people concerning him. Mm-hmm. For some said, he is a good man. Others said, no, but he deceives the people.
Uh-huh.
Howbeit, no man spoke openly of him for fear of the Jews.
Uh-huh.
Now about the midst of the feast, Yahushua went up into the temple and taught. And the Jews marveled, saying, how knows this man letters, having never learned?
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me.
He said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. They asked the question, how in the world does this man know the book like he know it, but he's never learned the book? We ain't never seen him down here. We run this. We teach the scriptures. We ain't never seen him come around here in any of our classes. He ain't got no degrees from us. We never passed him in our seminary. How in the world did this man know the book this way? They asked that question to him. He said, what now?
My doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself.
Right? He said, my doctrine is not mine, but it's of him that sent me. That's important to know. This one touched me. Right? If any man do what?
If any man do his will, he shall know the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself.
Got that. Do his will. You confused about what the book say? Do what he say. Let's see how long it lasts. Just try him out. Just do it to be the average of people that don't understand the Bible because they never read it and they don't obey it. Get confusing when you do that. What verse is that?
18. Wait, 17.
We're going to pick up from here next week. And you know what I'm saying? Continue on. Because from chapter 7 to about 8 or 9, oh, it's some good stuff. Oh, it's some good stuff. Right? We're going to pick up next week. Any questions? All right, well, let's pray out.
I don't like when you guys do that.
You do what?
I always stop at the good parts.